The world is full of noise, and all too often, that noise attempts to drown out the message of hope that moms so desperately need to hear.
It is our calling to help you reach this level of freedom, to understand who you were created to be, and to walk fully in your purpose. From daily routines to slaying giants, we're going to talk about things that matter, help you find a balance that works for you, and tackle mindsets that hold you back.
We craft each episode to speak to a specific challenge in motherhood, leaving you feeling inspired and equipped with tools to make changes that will propel you on the path to your calling. We are about purpose, identity, and freedom. I'm Dr. Bayless.
And I'm Jackie Bailey. And this is Point of Decision.
Hi, and welcome to our show. We're so happy that you're here, and I am super excited to welcome our guest, Lindsay Anderson. She's a wife and a homeschooling mom of 3, and after years of struggle in marriage and finances, she and her husband are now thriving, and they're debt-free. Amazing. Congratulations, Lindsay, by the way. Lindsay is a blogger, a podcaster, and she helps moms all over the world reduce their stress and find their identity through her Stress Elimination Method membership. So welcome, Lindsay, to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so excited about this podcast.
We're excited to have you. Thank you so much.
So, Lindsay, how did you get started with your Stress Elimination Method, and what really brought you to the point of creating this for other moms?
Oh, gosh. It probably started through my own mess of a life that I had about 6-7 years ago. My life was literally a disaster. We were so broke. We fought all the time. My marriage was really, really struggling. And through solving my own mess and sort of healing from all of the damage that had happened in my life, I had a lot of moms coming to me asking me for help. So asking me how did you do that? How did you heal your marriage? How did you pay off your debt? How do you guys budget? How do you manage your time? How do you do all of this stuff? And I can remember having women come to my house and we'd sit down and talk and we'd talk about their marriage, or we'd talk about their finances. We'd run numbers and we'd do all of this when was it? 2018 or 2017? I can't remember. I decided that I wanted to start blogging just as another stream of income. I just wanted to learn how to blog. And I started doing that, and we started having tons of people doing our free Mom Binder course. And I remember one time I was having a conversation with a group of girlfriends, and we were just talking about if we did have a course, what would it be about? And somebody said to me, they're like, Lindsay, you should be teaching moms doing this professionally. And that's really where it started. I never would have thought that I'd have a podcast. I never would have thought that we'd have a membership website. I didn't even know how to do that. I had no idea. But it just kind of evolved based on what people's needs are. And it's just turned into this really cool thing that I never would have dreamed of having.
So can you explain what the Stress Elimination Method is?
So we have a membership website, and what we do is we have content that's already in there, and it's our stress elimination method. So basically, we pinpoint the top stressors in the lives of most moms, which we have found is self-esteem, relationships, whether it's with their spouse or just in general, parenting, home management, and finances are usually the biggest ones. And so what we do is we help moms get rid of stress at such a core level, and we work from their identity outwards. And so we really fix what's happening at the core of Christian perspective, and then we figure out step by step how to get rid of that stress permanently. So we have kind of a step-by-step system that we take moms through, but then we also do more personalized coaching where we work in a group coaching setting twice a month, and people can submit questions and things like that. So we really get to dive in and figure out what's causing some of these core issues. There's a lot of aha light bulb moments that happen in those sessions. It's really fun.
Do you find that with your coaching calls, they're pretty mainstreamed problems across the board, or do you find that they're pretty vast?
Both. Both. The subjects are the same. Like a lot of people have stress about finances. A lot of people have stress in marriage. What's causing the stress, what's the source of that stress varies. But one thing that is almost always a big issue, it actually goes back to identity and how we view ourselves at the core. Almost everything goes back to that. There's a lot of stuff that's the same, but there's a lot of things that are more specific to the individual person.
So what do you find is usually the number one thing that you start working with when they come to you?
Most women come to me for marriage, finances, or time management. That's the symptom. That's the symptom that they're dealing with, that they're looking for help with. What's actually the biggest issue, almost like I said, it almost always goes back to identity. But those are probably our top 3 symptoms. But there's usually an underlying disease that's causing those symptoms to manifest in people's lives.
That's so good. So how does your program really work? You start with identity, identify what the stressors are, and then what?
So we have stress audit is what we call the first part of our membership. It's stress audit. It's really taking a deep dive look, prioritizing like what it is that we actually need to work on. Then we go into stress elimination. That's where we find the root cause of the problem and we deal with the identity issues first. And then we go into what we call stress control. And that's where we apply different systems, different strategies to our life to kind of fix some of these problems. So an example would be finances, right? So first we're going to figure out, is finances actually the issue that we need to work on? Is that the most pressing issue? Then if it is, we're going to get to the root cause of that issue, figure out what's going on inside of us spiritually, mentally, all of that causing this to happen in our life. We're going to heal some of that stuff first. Then we're going to go and into stress control. We're going to apply systems. We're going to figure out what budgeting strategy works for us. We're going to figure out our plan to maybe pay off our debt or invest. And then we kind of go from there. And it's an ongoing process. So you go through it over and over and over again. The first time you go through it, it might be money. The next time you go through it, it might be marriage. The next time you go through it, it might be something else. So it peels back the layers one by one. And our goal is to truly teach people a new way to solve their problems. They can identify what's happening in my life that I don't like. How do I step by step go sort this out? So that even when they're done working with us, they have a new way of thinking through their problems, essentially.
So what does your homemaking system consist of?
The Mom Binder?
Yes.
So the Mom Binder is our free course that we offer. And we have like this Facebook group. We teach people how to create a Mom Binder. And what's so funny is I learned from the Fly Lady and some other coaches that I had in my life how to do different home management strategies. And I loved them all and I hated them all. Like they just didn't work for me in certain areas. And so I created my own Mom Binder. And there was one day where I was, I learned that in business, you should offer some sort of freebie. You should offer somebody a chance to get to know you and to get to know your content and stuff. And I remember being like, what do I have? Like, what would I teach people? And my binder, my beat up binder was sitting on my kitchen counter. And I was like, I can teach people how to make a binder. And I did. And for some reason, it took off like wildfire. And now we have like almost 4,000 moms in that group, all making mom binders.
Wow.
So the mom binder system, it's routines, it's zones, it's brain dump, it's meal planning, it's a bunch of different things. But really our goal isn't to teach people how to make our mom binder. Our goal is to teach people how to make a mom binder that serves them and serves their life and what they need it for. I don't necessarily have a home management system, but we teach people how to make their own home management system, if that makes sense.
Yes, I need this.
Absolutely.
So the Lord told me this year that the word for the year is ease. I've never been really one to do a word of the year, but he just keeps telling me, does this fit in with ease? Does this fit in with ease? And so I'm asking him about it and I'm like, God, nothing is easy right now. He said, I didn't say easy. I said ease. And so what came of that is starting to learn those very things, starting to learn the routines. What do I need to do to be able to make my life flow and it be a life of ease with 4 kids, and with one being 3 months old and one being a toddler. And then all of those things that go into mom life. I'm sure I'm not the only one going, how in the world do I make my life flow a little bit better with a toddler or maybe 2 and a baby and a teenager? What would be like a big piece of advice that you would give someone like me getting started?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a conversation that we have a lot because I mean, this is like the story of the mom. In fact, this is where Mom Binder came from, is because I was like in a situation where I was like, something has to be done or I'm just going to lose all control of this. It was after our 3rd daughter was born. And so I also had a newborn, which is a whole interesting stage that all 3 of us know about, right?
Yes.
So I think the biggest thing when it comes to time management for moms is a lot of times they either are putting way too much on their plate, just in general, or they're not giving themselves grace for a season where a lot's going to be on your plate. So often when I talk to moms who are in that new baby season, they feel like they should still be doing everything. And I get that because I totally felt that way too. But there's an appropriate amount of stuff on a plate in that season, right? There's an appropriate amount to ask of a mom and that we should be asking of ourselves in those seasons, you know, when our body's healing, we're asking more of our body and all of that. So that's where it really sometimes comes back to, like I said, it comes back to an identity issue because we have to ask ourselves the question, first of all, if I'm putting too much on my plate, why do I feel like I need to have so much on my plate? And number 2, why am I not having grace with myself? Why am I putting pressure on myself to do so much in this season? It's so crazy to me how so often these issues go back to identity and how we think about ourselves and how we treat ourselves and even traumas that we dealt with back when we were 8 years old. It's so crazy how so much of that goes back to our inner dialogue and our self-talk.
Absolutely.
I guess I don't necessarily have advice other than asking yourself why. Like, why do I feel like I have to do this, right? Why do I feel like I'm failing if I'm not doing it?
That's perfect advice because I know Jackie and I were just talking about this the other night. We called to talk about business stuff and I was just like, we need friend time.
Yes.
And it was this very thing. I'm feeling like I'm going to run out of time. So if I feel like I'm going to run out of time to be successful, what is success to me and what is success in these areas?
Well, I think it really just came down to the fact that Leslie has 2 sets of children. You know, she's got a teenage child, she's got an adult child, and then now she's kind of started parenting all over again with a toddler and a newborn. And Leslie is a doctor of education. She's accomplished a lot in her life, and she spent all of her time raising these 2 wonderful children that are one adult and teenager, like I said. And then she was just kind of feeling this overwhelm of like, now I have to start over again. When am I going to be able to accomplish the success that I desire for my life? Am I going to have to wait till I'm 60 now? You know, do I have to put all of my ambitions and goals and desires and dreams aside because now I have these 2 small children that are taking up all of my time, energy, and, you know, emotions and everything that goes with raising small children and a teenager, and one's out of the house now. But I'm sure, Leslie, you're still parenting her in a lot of ways too and guiding her through the stage of life that she's dealing with. So I think there are a lot of moms out there that do have these different stages, and we were just talking on the phone, having friend time, and I was just encouraging her to have grace for herself, just like what you were saying. But yeah, I just really feel like it's important not to lose our identity in becoming mom,
right?
Because so many women lose their identity is just getting up, wiping butts, feeding kids, and putting them to sleep, you know? So I just feel like it's so important to still have those goals and dreams and aspirations and find that time to actually live them out. And so your program, Lindsay, I just believe is that key that so many moms need to be able to organize their lives, find that time, because if we don't direct our time, time directs us.
So true. Time and money. If you don't tell them where to go, they just disappear somehow.
They do.
Exactly. And so many moms struggle with poverty mentality. And I just really feel like what you're doing spiritually is a key that we all need. So how can we get involved with what you're doing? I know you said you have this amazing Facebook group, which I'm a part of. I just want you to explain a little bit more about what happens inside the Facebook group and why it would benefit moms to jump in and be a part of.
Sure. So we have a Facebook group called Mom Binder Masters. And inside the group, we teach people how to create their own mom binder. There's like videos, tons of videos that you can binge watch and learn. But we also do workshops inside of the group. We just finished up a money workshop that we leave up so people can, even if they join the group now, they can still access that. And we're going to be doing some time management workshops. We have some plans to do marriage workshops and things like that. So we have tons of free content inside that group, but also we have the podcast. So if people go to kingdommompodcast.com, they can listen there, or they can listen, anywhere where there's podcasts. We're pretty much on every platform at this point. And then we have lots of free training, free resources, articles, and everything on that website too. But the place to be is really inside of Mom Binder Masters. It's a really cool community of moms, and we do prizes. That's probably the best place to start is inside of Mom Binder Masters.
At what point would we move past the Mom Binder Master group and get inside your membership website?
It just depends. We have moms who binge watch the Mom Binder course and they're like, yeah, I need more of this. And they will immediately start. We have people who, have been hanging out with us in Mom Binder Masters for a year. And then they're finally ready to dive in. They finally feel like it's time to take it to the next level. So I would say that there's not a right or a wrong. We do have an application process though for members. Like if you want to join the paid membership, you do have to fill out a little application just because we want to make sure it's the right fit. We want to make sure that we can actually help you with what it is that you're looking for, but there's not really a right or wrong. So it just depends on if you are ready to take it to that next level, I guess.
That sounds perfect. And I will link to your Facebook group with the Mom Binder Masters and the workshop, and the kingdommompodcast.com, the free training that you have there, and the membership website. And that will all be in the show notes.
Well, thank you so much, Lindsay, for being here. We've just really enjoyed spending time with you and hearing a little bit more about what you created and how you can help moms have that freedom and create that stress-free lifestyle that you offer. So we're just super excited to have had you and can't wait to dive in more.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. Like I said, when you told me about this podcast and what it was going to be about, I got really, really excited because I truly believe that there's a whole community of moms out there that need more kingdom mentality being spoken over them. So I'm so, so glad that you guys are doing this.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this with us and to give us some little key points too, in addition to having a free Mom Binder course that we can all go to and start using right away. I'm super excited to start using that myself and learning how to have grace for myself in this season that feels like a never-ending season, but it's not. So that perspective was gold, and I'm sure that perspective will be gold for other new moms out there that also have a toddler, have a brand new baby, and it feels like it piles up, and the grace part is probably one of the hardest parts. So I think that this being able to put down the routines and the zones and those brain dumps and all of that in one spot, to be able to talk to other moms on how to do that and just get the camaraderie to know that we're not alone in this, because sometimes it just feels like such an isolated place.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like, oh, no other mom feels this way about their toddler right now, and I'm a horrible mom. But the truth is that we all have those feelings, and it does come down to that identity and what we're dealing with at the moment, and learning how to have grace in that. So thank you so much for your perspective on those things. And I'm looking forward to learning more from you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you for being brave, for having your mind and heart open to receive what we've shared.
We pray that it touches you so deeply that you are transformed from the inside out.
If you've loved spending time with us as much as we have with you, we have great news for you.
We have a tribe of other moms just like you that are committed to living life to the fullest and are a source of encouragement, support, and love.
Go to Point of Decision on Facebook now to join our growing tribe.
I'm Dr. Leslie Bayless.
And I'm Jackie Bailey.
We love you.
We're praying for you.
And we are looking forward to spending more time with you on Point of Decision.